strap in and get ready for After Hours with TC Restani. This is Abigail Harwich, executive producer, welcoming you to the show. And now, TC Restani!
Alrighty, welcome to the After Hours of TC Restani, the podcast. I'm TC Restani, emanating from the Glacial Podcast Penthouse, and I'm here with my esteemed panel of experts for another rousing episode of the After Hours of TC Restani, the podcast. Over there right now, drinking his agua and not milk, is the milkman himself, Quincy Briscoe. What's going on, Quincy?
Not that much. How are you doing tonight?
Unbelievable. South Boston Jeff with an array of weed juice again.
Yeah, weed juice, weed gummies. Yeah, got all kinds of good stuff here. Get it ready. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
He's ready for a clouded conversation, indeed.
I'm ready for a clouded night. Yeah, it's already a clouded night, but I'm just rolling with it.
There you go. Someone who's never in the clouds because he's clear as a bell. The host of Ricky Bittman's Juice Box, exclusively on Spotify. The one and the only, my mentor, Ricky Bittman.
That's me, and I'm glad to be here tonight.
You're looking fit today.
I feel fit. I feel good. I feel mossy. Things are taken.
You're mossy.
Yeah,
so you going to the north?
Huh?
On the north side, the moss.
Is that where it grows?
Well, this is what happens, as I heard.
I never knew that.
See, I learned that on Mr. Wizard.
I see. I didn't watch educational TV.
I remember that, dude.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it was kind of acceptable back then to have these teenage kids and everything left alone with some guy and everything.
Some creepy old dude.
Yeah, some creepy old dude. You didn't think much of it, but those kids were rather ugly now that you think about it.
Well, they could have been an experiment, but we never know.
Yeah.
What was that movie from the 70s that was like had a bunch of little vignettes and skits? Was it Kentucky Fried Movie or?
Yeah.
With the clown reading the erotic literature. He's like, make sure your parents aren't in the room. Is everyone gone? And then he put his glasses on. He'd sit down and he'd open a book and he'd start reading, not like X-rated, but just like real like classical erotic literature.
That
about
doesn't sound like Kentucky Fried Movie. It
Then it
sounds
wasn't
like this other one, Do It Till I Need Glasses or
Groove
something?
Tube. It was the Groove Tube.
Oh, the Groove Tube.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what it was.
It's got nothing to do with the chicken, is it? You have me
Kentucky
curious.
Fried Chicken.
Maybe.
Kentucky Fried probably did.
It could. You never know,
Kentucky
Quincy.
Fried
It was a very
Movie.
funny sketch, and
Because anything, well, the only way to find out is, hey, let's ask these things.
We've seen Hamburger the movie, we've seen like Hot Dog the movie, but we've never seen a Kentucky Fried movie, have we, Quincy?
I never even heard of till just now about the
we'll have to
Kentucky
get
Fried
that
Movie.
down. That and the Groove Tubes. You ever seen Groove Tube?
And the sequel, Quincy, Extra Crispy.
Nice.
I'd like a just plain regular.
Okay, I've never seen the Groove Tube.
Oh, we gotta get that down here.
Now, you had cable, obviously, as a child.
Oh, yeah,
because the only cable I had was a scramble thing, so I could see like a nipple here and there.
Yeah, this wasn't dirty, Groove Tube. It was R-rated.
Who else was in it?
Chevy Chase was in it, in one of his
I
first
believe
roles.
John Candy was in it too, wasn't he?
I don't remember Candy, but he could have been.
Groove Tube.
But there was just a lot of these really strange comic little sketches. And again, one was the clown where he's just being all silly, beeping a horn. And then he goes, remember, kids, get your parents out of the room. And they play the marching music. And then he go, is everybody out? And then he'd just get real serious. And he'd go over and he'd put his glasses on. He'd say, okay, last week we ended with chapter so-and-so. And then he started reading and he goes, now I want to emphasize something. We came very close to being caught a week ago. Some kid in Illinois, his parents walked in, and we had to think fast and cover it over. So it's very important. Keep your parents out of the room. And I have a lot of requests to read these. I was reading the books that people have requested that he reads.
The Groove Tube came out in 1974.
Wow, yeah, that's an old movie.
And it starred Ken Shapiro,
Okay, that's probably the guy that played the clown.
the late Richard Belzer.
Yes. Oh, he plays a black prostitute in it.
Okay. In IMDb, it just says the hooker.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase, Buzz Linhart, Richmond Bayer, Berkeley Harris, Jennifer Wells, Roy Wallace, Curtis Allen, and other names I've never heard of. I'm scrolling through.
The logo was a gorilla with a television for a head.
No John Candy in this.
Yeah,
All right, yeah.
I think that was-
maybe that was something else. Yeah, maybe that.
So this movie came out the year before Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
So that's why Chevy was probably.
It's gonna be
It's-
pretty
it's-
wacky. I'm gonna have to definitely put that one
Yeah,
on my list.
you'll like it a lot. The Groove Tube is a good movie.
Never seen it, but we'll have to have a Groove Tube party.
I think we should.
You think, Quincy, should we have a Groove Tube party instead of a Hooper party this year?
Why not?
Well, I thought we
What's Groove 2? It's like
Groove Tube.
You'd like
T-U-B.
it. It's funny. It's funny.
Well, I have to find out what it is.
It's a funny movie. It's basically what he just said. How much more do you need to know?
Like a sketch comedy
Yeah,
type
it's like
of
the
movie.
Carol Burnett show.
Oh, all right. I seen like clips of it commercialized.
Yeah.
Why are you pulling your ear?
It's just like, all right, we'll try it.
Yeah, I think
you
you
know,
get a kick out of it.
we'll definitely try
Used
it.
cars or.
Well, we can have a double header.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Believe me, we're going to watch used cars. We owe you that.
But moving on, I heard through the grapevine, I was talking to Abby in the hallway.
Yep.
Are you satisfied with the red Solo cups again?
I'm very satisfied with them.
Okay.
I haven't even.
We'll have to take a picture of you later so I can send it to her. Just to say, hey, I got the cups.
You got a deal.
Okay, unbelievable. But I heard she came out of a creative meeting with you and a few other people, Galen and whatnot.
Yeah.
You're changing the format of the jukebox on
Well,
Spotify? What's the deal with this, Rick?
Well, I got to be honest with you. I haven't been too happy with the way things are going because I've been losing sight. Now, I know you and I have creative differences on this, but the jukebox was always about the music.
Right.
And I find myself being more worried about what I'm going to say, my adventures. You know, I'm talking about TV, I'm talking about movies, I'm talking about books, comic books, I'm talking about restaurants I've gone to, places I've traveled to. And then the music's kind of thrown in as an ancillary. Is that the word I'm looking for?
It could be an ancillary. I don't know. That's a big word.
But you know, I got to be honest with you. I was listening to one of my all-time rock and roll idols is Tom Petty, and he had a show on Sirius XM called Tom Petty's Treasure Chest. And he would play songs that he loved, and he would just talk about the songs. You know, and he'd play like 2 or 3 in a row, and then he'd go back and visit them and say this song, this song, this song. Then he'd play a few more. See, what I'm doing is I'm playing. The show's getting. In some cases, we're going over 2 hours. It's a lot of time for people to listen to. First of all, so I'm trying to keep the show a little bit more condensed and a little less verbose and focus on the music. We'll see.
A little less pulpery.
Exactly. You know, it's just a lot to. And after every song too, I'm like kind of losing sight of the song.
Okay. But I as a fan,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I enjoy the banter.
Yeah, no, I know you do.
I
and
enjoy the history and the thinking outside of the box.
But there will be that. There will be. It
Okay.
just won't be like I said. Sometimes I open the show. It's 15 minutes of me just talking.
So it's like Monday Night Raw before the first wrestling match.
Exactly. And I'm just trying to see maybe we can find a sort of a middle ground by doing
Okay,
this.
all
That's
right, but I'm telling you, as a faithful listener, and I know people do, faithful listeners, they love listening to your bits of history.
And I did get 2 emails from actual listeners who said you got to focus more on the music.
Okay,
So,
well, you know
that's
what? You got to do what the customers want.
We're going to see, and if it's successful to agree, and if I do lose a couple along the way, I understand. But the music is always the star of the show.
It's like when I used to watch primetime wrestling back in the day, hosted by Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. Yeah. I could have cared less about the matches.
Exactly.
It was the banter between the two of them
Right.
that was the entertainment part.
Right.
So I'm a music fan, but not a music lover like
Right.
you are.
Exactly.
And I kind of enjoy the banter.
But you know what else? I tell everybody all the time: tune into the YouTube page. This is where you get the banter.
It's true, but
I'm a Taxi fan. I kind of enjoy the banter.
Yeah. I actually got that right off the top. Oh, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Chick Webb.
from Taxi Driver.
He was a famous drummer, Chick Webb.
What do we have? You think that guy's still alive? That guy that was in Taxi Driver, the drummer with the greasy hair? He looked like a doll.
Yeah, he was.
That was probably my favorite part of that movie.
I remember me and my buddies when we watched Taxis for the first time, Taxi Driver. That scene cracked us up.
Today's De Niro's birthday, by the way.
Oh yeah, happy birthday,
80.
Bobby.
Hey, Bobby, you gonna go beat somebody up when you're 80 years old?
Yeah.
Everybody's listening. Oh, my top 10 De Niro movies. Not one mention of the King of Comedy.
Yeah. Because you know what? Because everybody's stupid.
The King of Comedy, all right, it showed the range
Yes,
of
it
Robert
did.
De Niro.
It did.
I mean, yes, he can play a cop, he can play a mobster,
Yeah.
the best in the world.
Yeah.
But you take that mobster and you make him a complete bumbling imbecile.
Yeah.
That's acting.
But a bumbling imbecile who had a plan.
He did.
I mean, I admired him.
That's my favorite Robert De Niro movie.
I have to agree, 100%.
You know, I mean, I'm a fan of Midnight Run,
Sure.
Godfather 2, Casino, Goodfellas, of course. But if I had a choice, what was my favorite Robert De Niro character? It's Rupert Pupkin.
I watched that for the first, not when I seen it for the first time, but when I showed it to my brother Dan for the first time. He's a big Robert De Niro fan, and he was like it did not show the comedy sketch itself until the end of the movie when he went to the bar, and he's like, "Isn't it going to show the comedy sketch? What's going on here?" I was like, "Oh, relax, it shows it," and he does pretty good. He's actually pretty funny. So, but yes, he I agree with you. I agree with you, TC. The range of the character, he did play an excellent, that wasn't a bad comedy sketch.
No.
He did play an excellent comedian.
Well,
character.
I love your brother Dan, but he also thought that guy from Friday the 13th Part 5 was Clint Eastwood.
Right, yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
Just had to get that out there.
13 Part 5.
Oh, it's Clint Eastwood. Yeah.
Does that guy get a hockey mask on?
All right, sell up those horses. I'm nothing foolish.
3 days. I'd like to earn a meal. Well, he did kind of sound like him. You got to tell him.
All right, kind of. He played Catfish Lee in an episode of The Dukes of Hazzard. It fought Luke Duke, by the way. The guy we're talking about from Friday 13th Part 5. Don't know his name.
Luke Duke?
Luke Duke. There's a video. I found this not too long ago. Someone posted it. Tom Wopat, the great Tom Wopat, got arrested for drunk driving in Wisconsin about a year ago.
Wow.
And they posted the officer's chest video of the whole incident. And the first thing that Tom Wopat did when he got pulled over.
No.
Yeah, I know I was going spit, but I was Luke Duke of the Dukes of
Get out. He didn't play that card.
It's there. It's there. But he owned up to it. I guess it was his second DUI and whatnot. But you know what? He's still a good old boy in my book.
Absolutely. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes.
Unbelievable. Now,
Whether it's drunk driving or playing grab ass at the theaters on Broadway.
He's a Duke boy.
Well, the days of playing grab ass, man, those were great days.
Well, he must have played it with Daisy. I'm sure he did.
That's some quality grab ass.
Her legs were as long as this table, I'm telling you.
Quality ass grabbing.
Unbelievable. Back to the jukebox.
Yes.
So when does the transition begin?
That will be the next episode 54.
54.
Yeah, and I might start changing the episode names. Instead of Ricky Bittman's Jukebox episode with a number, I make Ricky Bittman's Jukebox and something about the episode.
Okay.
Like this would be Ricky Bittman's Jukebox, a change is going to come. Or a new direction.
When it's time to change.
Time to rearrange.
It's time to change.
So I'm going to try that, because
all right,
got to get a title that people can engage with, one that's not that long, and
right.
I'm just trying. There's a little something new.
All right, change is good.
Yeah.
I'm one of these people who don't like change, but I
know you don't.
I've heard it a million times.
But I'll tell you, we got a lot of good songs on the next episode. We're going to knock people's socks off, some great bands, and I'm trying to bring some new stuff to people.
All right. And Galen's all for this as well?
Galen's not 100% up to speed with when it's going to take place. He was in the meeting.
I know.
But he doesn't know what's going to happen next episode.
Did Abby have any input on anything?
Abby just agreed with me.
Okay, well, you know,
because she's of that age where brevity is key.
Nothing. She was just at the Jonas Brothers concert.
Yeah. So,
all right.
And I had to tell her there will be no Jonas Brothers on there unless she makes a formal request through the proper channels.
Okay, all right.
I never refuse a request.
I wouldn't know any of the Jonas Brothers songs.
You're not missing anything.
I'm sure I'm not.
I get we got a feature from the album called "The Lightning Fingers of Roy Clark" coming up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you've never heard, I'll tell you right now, everyone out there, go to YouTube. Search Roy Clark and you'll see. He had this sort of hopeful, sort of simpleton, hayseed way about him.
Well,
on
he's on
Hee-Haw.
Hee-Haw.
That's what I mean. People think that's it, but there's a whole nother side to this guy.
Really?
He's an incredible guitar virtuoso. And you would know that if you weren't listening to the jukebox or this right now.
See, now if you didn't mention this, you wouldn't have known. So it's I'm saying you got to keep this stuff in there.
No. That'll be in there.
So your banter's not going to be about what you had for breakfast yesterday.
I'm not going to be recommending a brand of pickles. I'm not going to be...
What can you recommend right now? Because I'm a big fan of pickles.
I'll tell you right now. Market Basket brand Zesty Dills.
Zesty Dills.
Yeah, and save the pickle juice and drink it at the end.
Well, I usually use that in my potato salad.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you, the
Zesty Dills Market Basket.
Market Basket brand. I like Vlasic, but Market Basket brand.
Does it come in a glass case or is it plastic?
Glass jars.
Okay, I'll have to write that down.
Market Basket Zesty Dill Spears.
Are they very sour?
No, they're zesty. They're tangy. They're not sour at all.
I love the sour ones.
Well, they're very flavorful. They burst.
The best pickle I had this year was at the Coney Island out in Worcester.
That's right. And that was great. That's a whole nother different.
I was thinking about that. We have to make a return trip there maybe. Because
we never made it out to any of the other places.
We have to make a few more stops before return stops.
Okay, all right. But those baked beans were good.
They were. No question.
So look for it out there so you can follow Ricky Bittman on Twitter at BittmanRicky.
X.
Oh, excuse me. It's X now. All right, it's no longer Twitter. But I don't even, whatever.
It confuses the hell out of me.
Whatever. Formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, there you go.
You can still follow him because it'll take you to the same place.
Twas Twitter.
At Bittman Ricky. And of course, you can listen to his Jukebox exclusively on Spotify. Unbelievable. Have you been seeing this thing in the news? All these whales are beaching themselves. Have you seen this?
I did not.
I know you're a big fan of the Cape Cod and whatnot.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you don't know about this.
I didn't know this.
It's happening all up around the East Coast or whatnot, that whales are beaching themselves. They must know something kind of coming on.
That has happened before. There was the pilot whales, usually the ones that do
Really?
that. Yeah, and it has happened on the Cape. And in Marshfield, they had an epidemic of that. And it's a phenomenon.
Could be like those fires in Hawaii.
Yeah, you might be onto something there. I've been hearing stuff.
It looks like, did you see the video? It looked like the Death Star shot down a ray.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
And only certain areas.
And not a lot of trees got burned.
And all the billionaires' houses weren't damaged at all.
Dun, 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 dun.
Now, the story that I've been hearing is that
I just tried Maui Wowie for the first time, right before the storm, right before. And now you probably can't get it.
probably not. It's probably manufactured in Lynn anyway. But
Maui Wowie.
Oprah Winfrey house wasn't touched. The Obama's house wasn't touched. Jeff Bezos' house wasn't touched. The rumor that I heard is they wanted to develop that land and they needed to get those people out of there. So, boom, what happens? The houses go, but the trees stay.
Yeah.
So
I noticed the trees right away.
There's something fishy going on. Everybody's saying, oh, no, there's a dry side and a wet side to the island.
No.
Okay. No.
No.
This is and what happened was the government came out, or the Hawaii government said, well, I think we're going to develop that land now,
Yeah.
Right. That was the plan all along.
I'm going to tell you, I spent time in Hawaii. It is not a dry place. Even on a nice day, it's very arid. There's there's moisture in the air because of the soil and the fauna. It's just there. And if it's raining here, we could go on the other side of town.
There's a series of islands puked up by by a volcano.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this.
We could go down the street and it wouldn't be raining.
Lately I've been on the Hawaii Five-O theme kick. Do you see the waves and everything for real down there?
Oh, that's just like that. The waves are absolutely breathtaking. How big they are. That's Waikiki Beach. That's huge.
And that's why surfing is big over there.
Yeah, big time.
So my theory is it's either the government did this or everybody found one of the tikis from the Brady Bunch.
Oh, for goodness sakes, check it,
Oh, yeah.
We could,
I'm going to go reheat my bean. There it was.
there it goes. One more time, Jeff.
Do the UFO again. Do the UFO for me.
I used to be able to do the UFO. I can't do it as well.
Wet your whistle. Wet your whistle down there.
Well, I think we wasted enough time with this UFO nonsense, Mr. Spreading. Good night and...
UFO sound.
Yeah.
You know my favorite sound effect that Jeff does?
Is it the music that the Brady Bunch when something goes wrong? Like,
Well, there's that, but a tauntaun from The Empire Strikes Back.
I never
still
heard
do
that. I never heard.
Hold on.
I'm dying here.
That's the best.
That's the best sound effects that he does. I love the tauntaun. Oh my God, I'm crying here. Nobody can beat that sound effect. I'm sorry. I mean, I think if they ever need to do a tauntaun,
Yeah, haven't done that in a while.
We should call George Lucas's house and just have Jeff talk to him that
just
way.
call some random person.
I don't think this is funny at all.
Just hello.
Has to be done in the wintertime, though.
All right, well, in the wintertime, we'll...
Yeah, in the dead of winter and everything when you can't go out snowplow.
We should get footage of him at a drive-thru.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Hi, can I take your order? Sorry?
Would you like fries with that?
Gary, can you come talk to this guy? I think he swallowed his tongue.
I think it's one of those foreigners.
He identifies as a Tauntaun, ladies.
Oh, I'm crying here. All right, Quincy, you know what? Since our last podcast, you had the opportunity to meet one of your all-time idols. Why don't you tell the fans out there who you met?
Arthur Fonzarelli! Hey!
Nice.
That is so awesome. A good friend of mine. The phone just rings, telephone, and it's like you get your best up because you're going to meet Arthur Fonzarelli. It's like, that's it. Date on the calendar. That's it. I'm booked, and before you know it, just like that. So what happened was we got in line. It's a good thing I persisted. Wanted to get in line real quickly right now because just like that, the line went right through. Talked to some people, and before you know it, I was up at the head of the line after talking to there's someone I met who's now a fan, and I went up and they said, "Hey, Arthur Fonzarelli, I'm a big, huge fan of yours." And some people, good friends of mine, that made a fast arrangement, took the picture, and he was holding the backcast sticker. And then we talked for a couple of minutes. I said, "Thank you, Arthur Fonzarelli. The pleasure's all mine." And he said, "No, the pleasure's all mine."
Wow.
Now, is that awesome or is that
very awesome?
And for the record out there, Arthur Fonzarelli was the character played by Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler, ladies and gentlemen.
On Happy Days. But
On
yes.
Happy Days. But this is true. It's unique, original. It's awesome.
And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, there is the picture on the screen right now. Look at the expression of happiness in Quincy's face.
I tell you, I've never seen him that happy.
And the expression of happiness on the Fonz's face.
The Fonz was genuinely happy.
The Fonz was a huge fan of yours, and you were, it was vice versa. Most people go to these shows to get his autograph. You gave him your autograph.
Hey, yeah, that's how it works, in show business.
That's pretty cool.
Once you get everything in the world you're looking for, I'll say that again numerous times. Don't let it change you for the worst. Once you get everything in the world you're looking for, you got to keep these shows going, and you cannot let these things change you for the worst. Because if you do, then it's like,
I don't doubt that he hung that up somewhere in his house.
I bet he has, yeah.
I remember when I met director John Waters at the Boston Public Library. He was doing a little book signing, and I gave him a picture of me with Mink Stoll.
Wow.
Yeah. TC, I believe you took that picture.
I'm sure I did.
He started laughing. I was all whipped because I was in the line to meet Pee Wee Herman, which I said, screw this. I'm just gonna get him by the bathroom. But and Mink Stoll has got this look on her face like she doesn't even want to be there and everything. She's got her arms crossed, and it looks like somebody's got holding a gun to her head to smile. But
she was wedged between, if I recall, at that convention. On one side of her was Tootie from The Facts of Life.
Ooh.
And on the other side was Carbone from Goodfellas.
Oh, dear God.
The guy who got frozen in the truck.
Yeah, jeez.
But I laid that picture on John Waters, and he was like, "Oh my God, I know right where I'm gonna put this."
Oh, and you
too."
know he did. Yeah, he's genuine. He's a real deal. That's somewhere in his house, guaranteed.
Is that the inspiration for your mustache there, John Waters?
You know who told me to grow this mustache?
No.
Floor director Dave.
Really?
He told me to grow a pencil-thin mustache.
Okay. Because John Waters has a pencil.
Yeah, he
mustache.
does, but I would never have even thought that. But floor director Dave says, you know what you need, Ricky? You need a pencil-thin mustache.
And how long did that take?
Well, I mean, my hair grows constantly. Just, there's a little darkening, I don't dye my hair anymore, but I just so people
because
can
this
see
stash
it.
that I got on here right here, it's a pain in the ass.
It is. That's why I trimmed it down to this.
I'm thinking about it when we do ever go back to. I think I may shave it off.
Yeah, you could get away with it.
Maybe I'll keep the chops, the mutton chops, but I may get rid of the stash.
Oh.
Yeah. Go for the honky tonk man look.
Well, just so you know, I tune in just for the stash.
A lot of people do. You know,
That was me joking about the jukebox.
Was that
You
awesome?
tune in for the banter. I tune in for the
Was
mustache.
that awesome?
That was awesome. There we go. But not to gloss over. That's huge that he met.
I mean, that makes up for Steve Martin being a dickhead earlier this year, right?
Like I said, my message to my audience is, once you get everything in the world you're looking for, and it doesn't happen overnight, don't let it change you for the worse. Because the trouble with some of these people, like I told you, it gets changed like, oh, well, I'm just gonna, you take all the time, the trouble, you travel to a certain distance to meet the so-called fan or celebrity, and then they did just like, oh, I'm just gonna give you some of this, you know, it's like, what is this, you know, it's like,
They forget where they came from.
yeah, you forget where you came from. You turn out to be a real big disappointment. It's like, I'm not going to be like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I've seen documentaries on Henry Winkler, and it seems like he was a nice guy from the start.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, always a nice, genuine guy from the start. Looked out for everybody around.
Except he was a bad guy in an episode of King of the Hill.
Was he?
Yeah, they were. The wife's ranch was being sold in Montana, and he was at the neighboring ranch, and he wouldn't allow his property to be crossed for some reason, or they were. You couldn't cross his river to feed the cattle, so they ended up marching the cattle down Main Street, and they blamed him, and it was his fault.
Well, speaking of Montana, when you heard that he met Henry Winkler, he gave me a message to tell you.
oh,
I met him first.
well,
Did he give him his autograph?
I don't think he did. No.
Dun, 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 dun.
boom.
I'm just relaying the message from what Bull said.
What difference does it make?
For him, it's him. It's important. Tell Quincy I met him first.
Well, I met him, Mr. Henry Winkler too. You know what? I'm having fun, and then the fun will continue.
You know how Bull gets jealous of things.
You're plastered all over social media.
Yeah, there are no Bull Montana autographs lying around at Henry Winkler's house.
No, because he sold all of them out at that convention he did a couple of weeks ago. Bull, if you're listening out there, I still need my half of that money from the pictures. All right, just, I've been waiting for almost 25 years for the bus ticket money, but, it's coming. It's coming.
Do you know when I posted that picture of you and Henry Winkler on my Facebook page?
Oh, yeah?
One of my good buddies said, "Tell Quincy he can sit on it."
Hey!
I knew you'd like that.
Well, that's what the Happy Days like. Well, the thing about Happy Days, like he and Ron Howard, I'm always doing the best of the clips, and they work. Because remember, he relates to music and lyrics.
Yeah.
That's when they help Fonzie, Potsy out. So it's like, well, that's what I'm doing, music
Oh,
and
that's right,
lyrics.
the pump.
Yep, pump up your blood. And Fonzie and Richie just come right in. Pump your blood. There's something in that
screwed
show
on
that does what it needed.
Didn't I hear you call Abby Shortcake the other day? Hey, Shortcake, you said?
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's like, hey, shortcake.
The next business meeting I have with Abby, I'm going to say sit on it.
Isn't he fresh?
And don't forget the musical, the one time we meet her again.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, definitely. Unbelievable out there.
Like I said, I'll keep doing what I'm doing because this doesn't happen overnight. Yeah, well, I take show business very seriously. I think it's an honor to go out and meet celebrities.
You do, because you're up all night. You know why you're up all night?
Because everyday drinkers to coffee enthusiasts, there's a brew for everyone. The Moon and the Sea Coffee Company, the right coffee from daylight to twilight, shore to shore. Visit them online at themoonandtheseacoffee.com, a proud sponsor of Restani Productions.
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
I heard that Pat Buttram did that a couple episodes ago.
Oh, yeah, how would that go, huh?
Well, we have the machine here. We can bring back anybody back
Should
to
we do
life.
it as a 70s DJ?
All right, let's. You know what? We're going to do this again for the people who are listening that are back in the 70s. So let's be very quiet as Ricky Bittman is going to channel his inner Casey Kasem.
Everyday drinkers to coffee enthusiasts, there's a brew for everyone. The Moon and the Sea Coffee Company. The right coffee from daylight to twilight, shore to shore. Visit them online at themoonandtheseacoffee.com, a proud sponsor of Restani Productions.
Awesome.
Now, I want to hear a Tauntaun do this ad.
I'll hold it up for you. Wait a minute, he needs the whole thing.
Every day drinking to your feet to the movement everywhere. The movement the thing of me the wake up from daylight to twilight to the light. Visit the moon like that. The movement there to the land. A plant of the
Unbelievable. Even Tauntauns need coffee too.
The force will be with you.
Well, there's a kind of a space connection there. It's the moon and the sea, so the Tauntaun could live on the moon,
I'm telling you, it works.
Now,
Plus, if you were out there, you'd need a hot cup of coffee.
What exactly are you doing over here? You're folding these cards and put them into your hat. What's the deal with this?
I should be giving my undivided attention, but Restani Productions.
It was a commercial break. I give you the leeway.
Okay. Well, I was hustling. We might be having a new thing here. We have been contracted by a fantasy football team called Free Brady to do their fantasy football picks this year.
Greg, Marsha, Peter, Jan, Bobby, or Cindy?
No, this is Tom Brady, the football player. That's what they named their league. They named their league the Free Brady League. So there's 14 members of this league. And what's happening is in the past, different commissioners have been accused of some shady doings when they pick these numbers, because it's very key. If you get number 1, that's really good. If you get number 12, that's really good too, or something. I don't know. I don't do this myself, but there's good numbers to get. And some people have said in the past, well, wait a minute now. Why does he get that number? And he's the commissioner. So they come up with the idea. They called out and they said, we want the most trustworthy person we know to pick these names and numbers.
Well, thank you.
Well, unfortunately, it's not you. And it's not me. And it's not the Tauntaun.
Then there's only one other person here.
Quincy Briscoe is going to pull the numbers tonight. And it's a paying gig. We can't disclose the amount. It was substantial.
It's a substantial lot of money. I saw. That's why I was a little offended. It wasn't me. But
well,
may I say I'll do the very best I can. I don't want anyone to have the wrong kind of feelings. Okay.
Nope, that's why they asked you to do it. So there'll be no hurt feelings.
Okay. Just so you know, I'm going to try my very best to please all because...
all you have to do is pull a name out of a hat.
Okay.
Or a box or a barrel. However we're going to do this tonight.
All right. Okay, then without further ado...
And then after this is all said and done, we can make the video available to everybody.
Yeah, we can have that definitely out there.
A little part of the Restani production since it's a paying gig.
Now, I understand if he does this right and in your fantasy football league wins the championship,
yes,
you're going to be taking him out to a dinner of his choice.
I'm sure that there'll be some remuneration.
Remuneration.
So you don't worry about that. You'll be taken care of. Unless one of the skid marks in this league decides to win.
See, I don't know anything about fantasy football or football in general.
Basically, quickly. You get the whole NFL to pick from, and you're number 1. You could pick any player in the NFL to be on your team.
Okay.
And so who's the best player right now? Aaron Rodgers. So you say, I pick Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be my quarterback.
Right.
And then there's a little time period, like everybody picks, and then there's a little time period, and then there's the next pick. So you go in order. So that's all. So it's best to have a low number because you get to pick from good players.
We should do this with pro wrestling one night.
I'm sure remember that guy Quest, that Whack Job Quest? I'm sure he did something very similar to this in the past. Him and Rob there.
He loves those videos. Does he ever love those?
Jello pudding.
You need to get diapers when he watches those. But or it depends because he is getting up there in age.
Mm-hmm.
He's a lot older than me.
Now he can make his own videos. Oops.
I got a cell phone. I got editing software.
Stool softener. Give me some of that.
Mink stool?
Stool softener.
Oh, sorry. Mink stool. But this is fascinating. So Quincy's now getting involved in legalized gambling.
So this could be it. This could be a new thing where all these leagues could come to us.
Right.
And for a substantial set fee, we'll pick their numbers for them.
Okay. All right.
So, you never know.
Just so you know, it's like I don't want to be held responsible for...
You will not be. We'll make that clear in the video. You make that clear, okay?
All right.
And you should also say any money that's left over should go to the schools, the hospitals, fire department,
the police department,
the municipalities,
TC's
all your municipalities. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get caught for those... You say you need the money. Let me make this also clear. Well, when you get what you're looking for, make sure you spend that money in a certain amount of time. Because if you don't, you're going to get caught. I think I saw this in the cuckoo's nest thing. Didn't we see something like this happen somewhere along the line?
I think you're right.
If you don't spend your money quickly, but the right way in a certain amount of time, then yeah, you will wind up in the cuckoo's nest, and then you're going to pay the consequences for not making the repairs.
How are we going to win our money back?
You know, let's take these repairs very seriously.
That's perfect.
How's that?
That sounds great. Or some guy named Rocco is going to break your leg because he's a loan shark.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that you don't want to get hung up with, ladies and gentlemen.
He's going to go, hey, Briscoe, I understand you got a new bike. Guess what? It's now my new bike, punk.
Not me, you don't.
You cost me the Super Bowl of fantasy football, and now I'm going to take it out of your ass.
You're not going to be responsible for any of that. Don't worry.
All right,
I promise you. Would I
'cause,
steer you? Would I steer you wrong?
Just remember, you live at 181 Green Street. The reason Quincy's laughing because he moved.
Ba-da-bum.
All right, so I suppose, without further ado, we should try and get
Well,
this.
we're not doing this on the radio show.
All right, okay. Oh, all right. Oh, okay.
We're going to be
be a
doing
video.
this. We're going to be doing this in front of your favorite thing, the cameras.
Camara.
All right, well, whatever you want to do. Okay.
Well, after we wrap up this broadcast,
Okay.
we're going to get you to the makeup chair, and then we're going to put you in front of the cameras, and then you and Bittman are going to do this fantastic fantasy football pick.
Okay, whatever you want to do then. But personally, I don't need makeup. You know.
That's debatable.
You're adorable.
Oh,
And
thank you.
speaking of debatable or baitable, we're going to go to a big-time commercial break for AngelicaSeafood.com.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Captain Dave Marciano, and how would you like the freshest local New England seafood shipped to you overnight? No running around from store to find what you like. We have it here at AngelicaSeafoods.com. Everything from tuna, haddock, cod, clams, lobsters, scallops, we have it all. The finest seafood overnight to your door, anywhere in the continental U.S. AngelicaSeafoods.com.
Alrighty, welcome back from that big-time commercial break. For all your seafood needs, go to AngelicaSeafoods.com. Captain Dave and his crew picking the best seafood from the North Atlantic, sending it to your door anywhere in the continental United States. Now, Ricky Bittman, I see you over there fiddling around on your phone during the commercial break. What's going on?
You asked me if anything interesting was going on, and I do have something interesting to
What is
discuss.
that?
Now, everyone knows that one of my all-time favorite restaurants of all time, even though it's in danger of being closed, and we don't know when, but it's going to happen, is the Kowloon up on Route 1 in Saugus.
Great Chinese food.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
The
it's
Wong family, fantastic people.
great
yes.
people, been great to the citizens of Saugus and
Everybody.
My mom was an employee for many years and everything.
You know, I'm
A
so
lot of deals.
saddened by the fact that it may not be around much longer. But have you heard about what's going on there? August 20th.
What's going on there, August 20th?
Sunday, August 20th. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, hold on. Saturday, August 19th.
Saturday, August 19th.
They're closing it down for the very first time.
The entire restaurant is being closed down to celebrate
Why is that?
a wedding.
Whose wedding?
John and Kayla. Now, nobody knows who John and Kayla are, but they're all over Facebook. They've had these posts going around, and it's gotten so much attention because we're getting these notices that the whole entire restaurant is going to be closed down to celebrate their nuptials.
His last name Rockefeller. The only ones who could afford to close the Kowloon down.
On a Saturday night. Do you know what that place pulls in on a Saturday? Seriously, think about
So
it.
I'm saying the Rockefellers
Yeah.
probably are behind it,
I'm going to tell you, in a weekend, if not Saturday alone, they got to pull in close to $1 million.
if not more.
It's amazing what that place pulls in. So I don't know who these people are, but I just thought it was interesting because maybe like by the time.
Are you invited?
No, I wish I was.
Are you going to be outside to find out who it really is?
They say the parking lot will be closed at 6 p.m., so nobody can go in there.
I wonder if the news crews will be there.
I don't know, but
They've been around since the 60s,
Oh my God! If not sooner than that, I think it was before that.
and they have never closed.
No,
Unlike this show, we never close.
we never close.
But the Kowloon,
You know, we should do
an expose to find out what's
we should
going
do a
on.
Restani visit to the Kowloon.
What day of the week is that? A Saturday?
This is a sad, but I mean, before it closes, what I'm saying.
Oh, of course, definitely.
We
definitely.
have to. I mean, God, some buddies were there the other night. They were at the same table we were at with the Iron Sheik when we sat
I think
down.
that was
with
the
him.
last time I was there. That was with the Iron
probably
Sheik.
is.
No,
That's
no,
all.
sorry. It was my friend Sherry from Toronto came down and she wanted authentic
Oh,
New
that's
England Chinese food, and I took her to where else? The Kowloon.
Did it disappoint?
Never disappoints.
Never.
Yeah, but the last time before that definitely was when I was there with the Iron Sheik.
Okay, you can get takeout that day. I just noticed.
Oh.
But other than that, you're not going to be allowed anywhere near the front door.
Now that consumes the entire restaurant area,
It says
plus
the
the function
entire-
hall upstairs.
The entire restaurant. So who knows? Maybe they'll have the dancing upstairs and the dining room will be downstairs. Maybe everyone will go upstairs and dance. I don't know. This is pretty big though.
That is big news.
But John and Kayla, I think they made a wise choice.
I guarantee you, the news crews will be there that day.
They're going to have to be. And at least either that or maybe next time we record, Kowloon will have told us all about it.
And they must have been very well paid off.
That's what I mean. On a Saturday. That place is...
In the summertime,
Yeah.
right before school.
No, but you also got to factor in, they would have the dining room and the outside. The outside generates, the money the outside place generates,
Sure.
you got to see it. We went there for a country music show on a Sunday a few weeks ago. Every table, every chair was filled.
I saw the pictures on Facebook.
Yeah. It's amazing. And
Or
it just
Twitter,
kills
whatever
me.
one I have.
That would probably be Facebook. But it's amazing that this place is going to close.
They say they're going to close. Are you sure it's not a gimmick?
They say they're going to tear the restaurant down.
Uh-huh.
They're going to develop the land and rebuild it up, and there's going to be a smaller version of the Kowloon on that site.
They must have got a big payday to do that.
Well, I think what happened is the hand was forced because the young kids in the family don't want to pursue it.
I mean, the Kowloon was a trivia question on Jeopardy.
Was it really?
Yes.
Wow.
I lost on Jeopardy, baby.
So I thought that was interesting.
I lost on Jeopardy, baby.
Well, I'm flabbergasted by that.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
Because I wanted Chinese food that night. I guess I won't be able to go there now.
No, there you go. You're going to have to go somewhere else.
Or takeout, which I don't like takeout.
I don't mind takeout for Chinese food. I can't do Mexican takeout.
I don't like takeout from the Kowloon. It has to be in the Kowloon.
I'll agree with that.
It's the atmosphere.
so will I.
It's the atmosphere.
Yeah, there's no question.
I mean, they have...
So don't go to the outside tables because they serve the outside meals in the takeout things. They don't bring it out on plates.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like you're getting takeout delivered to your table.
I won't be doing that.
Yeah, so don't go there. If you want the, and I'm with you. I like the inside. I
So
like
we'll definitely...
by the
Some
fountain.
Friday night,
We really should.
if you're not out in the Winnie Bagel
No,
somewhere...
I'll make time for that.
We should definitely have an after-hours excursion.
Maybe get Cousin Leo involved.
Cousin Leo, maybe we'll even get old Abby to show
Wouldn't that
up.
be great? Have Abby come down. Maybe one of her boyfriends.
She only lives not too far from there.
We'll set that
Not giving
kid
out her
straight.
address or anything, but
We'll set that kid straight.
Well,
Send him the
Maybe
411.
I'll walk over with test some of my connections and get some of the skimmy. Who are these people shutting down? Yeah.
Yeah,
What's the big deal?
see, if your mom still worked there, she may have been working there as a waitress that night. We could have got the 4-on-1.
Yeah, I know.
She must have some connections with the waiting staff there still, right?
Well, the last time we were there, which was on around Christmas time, I think it was on a Christmas Eve. Bobby came over and picked up the check.
Wow.
And that's a big family you have, especially on Christmas Eve.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
yes.
At the Kowloon. So
You
you
sometimes forget who's in our midst here.
You remember
I
something.
don't have that kind of pull. I pay every time I go to Kowloon.
The only other person who has that kind of pull, but they just want him out of there, is the Colonel.
I was just going to say he's got to be bull.
Is the Colonel. But we will not be telling... well, I guess we'll have to. He'll listen to this and he'll know. And he'll just show up.
We could bring the takeout leftovers to him.
Well,
Leftovers.
we could just knock on his door. Hey, Colonel. Yeah. Here you go.
Just leave him. DoorDash.
Because we love you. Thanks. Little did he know. But that's going to be a sad day when the Kowloon goes down.
It's going to be,
It's kind of like, well, no, was there any building that you were attached to that they got rid of that really, made you upset?
building, huh? That's a good question. I'm trying to think of a building.
I know mine.
I'm trying to think of a building. I don't think so. I mean,
What are they going to put in there?
Well, he just told you they're going to make a mall out of it. And they're going to make a smaller version of the Kowloon.
dwellings and offices and,
To me,
yeah.
So there'll be a restaurant, but just smaller version.
Yeah.
but it,
smaller
won't, but it
version.
won't be the Kowloon. All right,
No matter
the
what they do, it's never going to have that.
The Kowloon's a palace.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's a landmark. I'm surprised the people at Saugus are saying, listen, no, you can't tear this down.
Remember Waylou's?
Yeah, the place was beautiful.
Yeah, I ate there once.
But
We
the
did
food, but I don't know what happened. It was always the Board of Health was shutting them down.
It was just always very cold in there, I remember. And but we did the hibachi night where they did the
I think, didn't you?
It was the place was a little too big for its
Yeah, that's what it
service.
was.
I
It was
remember
too-
when it first opened up and everything. I had to the place was like a maze
Yeah.
to find my it was somebody had a graduation party and
Yeah.
I had to find them. There was some place in the back, but
Yeah.
it was a bit too much for its purpose and everything. And place it was kind of drafty.
Yeah, it was. I always remember.
It reminded me of like a Vegas hotel where you brought the car up in the front.
Yeah.
It was just.
I was only there one time.
It was amazing. And, Jeff, you and I went there with our friend Brett and his wife Katie. Remember that time?
Oh yeah, it was like a Christmas Eve.
And some other Hammernager came with us as well. And we went to it. And that was the first time that I really was there. I was there as a kid.
Yeah.
But that was just like the real first time. I was like, wow, why is this place not like always busy?
Yeah.
And it got closed down. But getting back, the place that when it closed down really upset me, and it's going to sound weird coming from me, was the Boston Garden.
Yeah, that's okay. I can see.
And everybody's like, well, you don't watch sports. I was there every 3 weeks for the WWF.
Yeah.
And that place holds a special place in my heart.
And the circus.
And the circus and, the ice shows and whatnot. I never went there for I did go for a couple hockey games when I was real young and one basketball game. But it was my building for the Garden. I saw all the legends there.
Oh, yeah.
Hogan, Andre, Savage, Piper, Snooker, the Junkyard Dog.
I'm with you.
Everybody. That was the place where I almost stole Bobby Heenan's jacket.
Ooh, that would have.
I couldn't do it. It was in my hands, Doc. I got it in my hands. I couldn't do it. I was 16 years old. There was no one there. I was 16 years old. A friend of mine worked there at the Garden selling Cokes, and me and a friend of mine went in early that day. It was January of 1988. We got in the building at 3:30. The matches didn't start till 8 o'clock. Wow. They were setting up the ring still and setting up the cameras and the stuff for Nesson that were going to tape it. And there was Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon at ringside going over the notes of what they were going to talk about that night. And we just wanted it because they looked like we belonged. I mean, I walked into the Bruins locker room.
Wow.
How many people can say that they've walked into the Bruins locker room at the Boston Garden? To me, I didn't care. It was Bobby Heenan's locker room.
Bobby Heenan was
and there was his jacket. Not his sequin jacket, but his black jacket with the big star on the back.
Ooh.
I'm like, it's right there. Yeah. There was no one around. My friend kept egging me on. Do it. I didn't do it. And years later, I told him about that.
What did he say?
You should have done it. I had 12 of those jackets. But yeah, when they tore down the Boston Garden, they should never have torn that building down. It was historic. They should have left it as a museum. Yeah. And the Fleet
What about
Center.
a big museum? I mean,
It doesn't matter. It's still it's historic.
It is.
But it had to be remodeled from what I hear.
Well, it had to be destroyed because it was a dump. I'm not going to say it wasn't. Yeah. I mean, in the summertime, it was 1,000,000 degrees. In the wintertime, it was below zero. Yeah. It had a rodent infection. You couldn't see anything around poles and whatnot, but it had character.
There's no question. You're right about that.
And employed Bull Montana.
And you're going to the new Garden pretty soon.
I'm going to the new Garden. Well, I remember I was a druid in that building.
My brother Eddie worked at the Garden for years too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no question. The original Garden was something else.
I will be. December 15th, I'm going to a Boston Celtics game with my nephew. I promised him once he graduated high school that I would go to a Celtics game with him.
He must be thrilled.
And I'm going to be going all out that night. I've been asking you where I can get vintage Celtics jackets.
That jacket is sweet. If you can get your hands on one, I got a Red Sox satin jacket like that. But a Celtics one is hard to come by. If you can get it, get it.
I saw them on eBay. They were a couple $100.
Worth it if you can get it.
And I got to get the old Boston Scally cap going on there.
But I mean, outlandish. People go crazy now in the stands. People wear those onesie pajamas with shamrocks all over them. You got, of course, Aztec Gino.
I was going to say our good buddy Aztec Gino out there.
And you got Black Mamba, the Black Leprechaun, and you got Chicken Head Nate. You got all these super fans.
Pretty soon, Restani.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you could become a super fan. Wouldn't it be funny if he went out and bought Celtic season tickets?
Let's not go that far.
You're going to like the atmosphere, though. It's a party.
It's a party, huh?
Oh, yeah. The basketball keeps you engaged. Like when there's a timeout and stuff like that, like within football, it's very quiet. There's always something going on. They're dropping parachutes from the sky.
They still got that dude Lucky flipping around?
Yeah. He does his tumbles and his
What about the
flips.
dances? They still got the dances?
Oh, yeah. The dances are still out there.
Oh, unbelievable. Their little green outfits, huh?
Yeah. They get the street teams and the acrobats, and there's always something going on.
So it's like a big party.
It is. Basketball keeps you engaged.
All right, because I've never gone to a football game, and I don't plan on it because it's South Carolina in the wintertime and it's cold.
That's in my
Baseball's
review,
boring and the sun will kill my skin.
Yep.
So it's basketball or hockey.
Yeah. You should watch the Savannah Bananas. Have you ever heard of them? They're like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Really?
Yeah, that's a new thing.
Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, they're from
Savannah
Savannah,
Bananas?
Georgia. He's been offered millions of dollars for this team. He won't sell it. They tour around. They were just up in Worcester this week. And Google them or put them on YouTube and see some of the
Do
things.
they play the Banana Splits theme?
They have their own songs, but they'll come to the plate with the bat will be lit on fire.
Okay.
Or the pitcher will be on stilts. Or the outfielders will be acrobats, and they'll They'll have to do
And
it.
who do they play?
They play like you know how they played the Washington Generals and the
okay.
But there's other minor league teams that they'll play, not just like the Generals, which was all a stage for the Globetrotters. This is a real league, but they win every game.
So is the fix in?
Well, there could be a rule like the fix is like they'll be playing, and all of a sudden a rule will come. You have to catch the ball in your hat, or it doesn't count. Something like that.
All right.
They do outrageous things.
I will have to check them out next summertime.
But you're saying baseball's boring? That would be a baseball game you could watch.
All right, so
Baseball's not boring. For Christ's sake, you see all these people spending numerous dollars on the sport, let alone it's overpriced. Then the refreshments.
I'm sorry.
But don't ever. I'm not blaming you, but whoever says that the sport is boring.
He said it. Your boss.
Quincy.
Yeah, we're saying boring, not expensive.
you
You're talking about expensive.
Can you name 3 baseball players?
No, because I don't know much about baseball. But I do know for a fact that the sports, all these like sporting events, it's like overpriced. Because like remember the old school days? Like I used to be at Boston Bruins kind of thing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But back then you could buy tickets for $20 and get
Those days are gone.
Yeah, but and you get decent seating.
Do you know how much it costs to sit in courtside of the Celtics game? At least it did when I sat, which was almost 10 years ago.
How much?
$1,200 for one ticket for one seat to sit courtside of one game.
So is that good or bad?
$1,000. That's
Okay,
terrible.
do you know how much I paid for my ticket to go to this game with my nephew?
How much?
$56.
Yeah. So $1,000 just to sit courtside. If somebody gave me $1,000 right now, it changed my week.
You go to the Kowloon.
Damn right.
Oh yeah, but wasn't that good? The old school days, they had Mike Moffitt.
There's no question. Yeah, I mean, I have Red Sox ticket stubs that say like $11 for a box seat. $11. Now I think it's like $85.
It's ridiculous, But them days they had a good goalie, Mike Moffitt. They had the captain, Cashman, and at least them days you could fight. But if you fight now, you get penalized.
Everything's different now.
It's like, come over here, you son of a bitch, old friggin'. Sports were sports, and it was so inexpensive. And
Now it's all a show, Quincy. It's all about money.
Well, yeah, because like you get. And the thing is, I can remember maybe it wasn't just hockey, but I heard remember that when they got suspended because they were just greedy, selfish, and then like when they got back on TV with only 48 games left, $4 to slap a hockey puck around.
Was this in Slapshot? Was this a movie we're talking about?
No, this is true. I can remember like old true story that they got greedy, selfish, because someone like
You know what the problem is? Back in the old days, sports was a job for these guys. You know what they did in the off season? A lot of them, you know what they did? They sold insurance and aluminum siding and cars.
Painted houses.
Yeah, these guys, that's what they did.
Well, back then when it wasn't so greedy and selfish, I can remember like in like halftime thing, the Bruins like they would play the Yes thing, and to see what these players do when they're not playing hockey.
You'd see in the old days, you'd see hockey players smoking a cigarette in the penalty box or crying out loud.
Sure, it's
A
like
fan would slide him in a lit cigarette. He'd be in there
a light
smoking.
cigarette. What's wrong with that? Nothing.
But
They would race cars.
It's
and
different.
They saw 4 Boston Bruins players race cars when
Those
they're not.
days are gone. They're just gone. At least we can. At least we lived through them.
But there's such a thing as, like I said, I'll say it numerous times. If you're gonna be greedy and selfish, and they change it for the worse, then you get paid $4. Nothing.
They're never going to change their minds.
Well, I see a new sports show here at Restani Productions.
Then they overprice
the idiots show.
the refreshments.
We don't. I'm talking about myself. I don't know as much about the actual. Your nephew could talk circles around me, but I'm a true fan.
That's the truth about
He would his head would probably explode when we tell him some of these stories. But that's true.
any sport. Any sport, not just baseball.
I'm just flabbergasted at the ticket price, $56 for like balcony nosebleed seats.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, when I used to go to the WWF, they were $9, $12, and $16.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you got to see bigger names than ever I'm going to see that night.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Kyle Yastrzemski play for $11.
Oh, Jesus.
Here's a Kyle
Christ.
Yastrzemski story for you. So somebody told me, and somebody told this to me secondhand, but it is true. So last day of the season. Now, in Fenway, if you've ever been there, the concourse underneath the seats, you can drive a car through there, and Yastrzemski had a special spot for his car. He drove his Cadillac. He basically got in the car in his uniform, cracked a Budweiser, and was drinking it, driving through. Like, fans are getting out of the way now. He's driving a Cadillac through the concourse. He realizes he forgot something. He gets out of his car. He calls one of the kids that worked at the park over, and he talks to the kid, and the kid goes like this, and he runs back, I guess, and gets whatever it was he's waiting for. And he's standing there in his cleats with his Red Sox pants on and drinking a beer in his T-shirt, and some little kid comes up to him with a ball, and he looks at the kid, and he goes, "Get the hell out of here."
Good for him.
Imagine that. Why? He didn't want to sign the autograph, just like Steve Martin.
Did they win or lose?
They probably lost. It was probably back in like the late 80s, early 90s.
So win or lose, you know what? You still get paid the money that you're
Big
entitled.
time. But you know what? These old players now look at what these guys are making now. It's got to burn their ass. I mean, the billions of dollars they're making now to play the game. Look at Larry Bird. He got paid shit compared to what LeBron James is making.
What do you think Kyle Yastrzemski made his best year?
It's tough. I mean, it's probably a few $100,000, really.
Really?
Yeah, I'm guessing, but I don't think it was that
Now
much.
they hire these guys right out of the the scumbag leagues for $2-3 million.
Yeah, you think of some of the players that they bring up, and nothing ever happens.
You're better off just like, sometimes so they clear things up. Like I said, all these prices have to come down. And such as sports, that's another thing.
They should pay them based upon their performance. In other words, if you hit a home run, you get so much money. If you hit a triple, you get so much money.
It's like these.
Imagine the effort that would be going into these games.
It's like these actors. Oh, he's box office. All right, Harrison Ford was the biggest name in the history of motion pictures. The Indiana Jones franchise that just came out tanked.
Yeah.
It made $300 million worldwide, and Barbie's almost approaching $2 billion.
Because people are stupid.
And it's like, and then he's going to come to the bargaining table for a next movie. They're going to go, dude.
Yeah.
You were just in the franchise that everybody in the world knows, and it made $5.
Yeah.
You really think we're going to pay you $25 million?
Well, luckily for him, he's set for it.
He's set for eternity. I mean, but I'm just saying, even these up-and-comers, like Barbie, what's her name? Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
All right, okay. I just did a movie that made $2 billion. All right, the next movie, she should get a decent payday. But if that tanks,
Yeah.
don't pay her anymore. Like that girl Daisy Ridley from the new Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
She was in a movie that made over $2 billion. She's lucky she can get like a couple $100,000 for her next
Has she
role.
been in anything else since?
Nothing to write home about.
Right. What is it? Murder on the Orient Express? Oh, that kind of blew.
All right, yeah, she was in the remake of that and whatnot.
They remade that? What the hell did they remake that?
I don't know, but I'm just saying that these people are like, I'm box office. All right, you did it once. If you can do it 5 times in a row, I'll consider paying you your fee.
Stallone.
See, Stallone he's a franchise.
That's
that guy.
That's true.
Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Harrison Ford, they're franchises, but not anymore. Because you got to remember, when we talked about this on a podcast a few times ago, Howard Stern was offended that the basketball player had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
He's 23 years old.
Yeah.
When you were, 20 years ago, he was 3. He wasn't listening to you. He has no idea who you are.
I was telling my buddy Russ at Each, who's a faithful listener of the Jukebox today, I don't know why I told him this story because he's much too young, about Jack Benny.
Jack Benny?
I told him a Jack Benny story. And it's like, Jeff, you might find this funny.
Okay.
Lucy lived next door to Jack Benny, and they were interviewing Lucy's daughter one day. And she said, well, I thought everybody lived like we did. We thought Jack Benny was our neighbor. We didn't think anything unusual with that. And Lucy had a party that she didn't invite Jack Benny to for whatever reason. He just wasn't a party for him. And he found out about it. And he walked through the hedge in the middle of her dinner party playing his violin. And he walked around the dining room table playing the violin, then walked back through the hedge into his house. See, that's a funny story, right?
Absolutely.
And Ross East is like, who's Jack Benny? I'm like,
For those to prove how old Jack Benny is.
I pictured that in my head and laughed.
See?
It's classic.
It is.
I mean, Jack Benny was Johnny Carson's hero.
Yeah.
That's how old Jack Benny is.
He was so great, though. He had great timing, and he had great reactions and stuff. And, beyond the, wow. I mean, he just was a very clever comedian.
It's unbelievable. So if Jack Benny's out there, he can come to any one of our parties.
Did you ever see the clip of him and Merv Griffin?
I might have.
Okay, Merv Griffin says, do you remember the first laugh you ever got? And Benny just sat there like this. And he kept, I'm just basically, ladies and gentlemen, I'm turning my head left and right very slowly in the very classic Benny. And he just finally looks at Merv Griffin and he goes, that is the stupidest question I have ever been asked in my life. And they showed Merv Griffin just sitting there laughing because he had no defense for that.
But did he answer it?
No.
He did.
Do you remember the first laugh you ever got? It was me when I was washing my hair with the food.
That's right, the mashed potatoes.
When I was a little kid, that's what I used to do.
And speaking of that, before we wrap the show up here, Ricky Bittman and I started a new project down here at Restani Productions. It's called Backstage Pass. And I'm going to be interviewing everybody that's part of Restani Productions one-on-one, not a panel discussion like we're having tonight, to get to know the real person.
It was great.
And we went for an hour and a half and maybe edited down once the editors get their hands on it. But some fascinating things in there. Butter carving.
Butter sculpting.
Butter sculpting.
Jeff's eyes just went up.
Yeah, well,
Like a lot of leftover butter at my house. I could.
I'll be right over.
maybe he can sculpt mink stole out of butter for you, or a tauntaun.
I thought he did that this time.
But we're going to be interviewing all the members of Restani Productions, the people who are on the air, maybe some people behind the scenes and
That'd be
whatnot,
interesting,
to get to know what really makes Restani Productions go. And the very final interview is going to be Ricky Bittman interviewing yours truly.
Oh, I forgot. I was going to say Bull. Okay, that's right.
You got a few months. It'll be
I forgot about that.
It's going to be sometime around probably my birthday in March of next year.
So plenty
you
of time.
You get 6 months
Yeah.
to come up with some interesting questions.
Yeah.
But the Ricky Bittman one, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I heard through the grapevine from upstairs in Abby's office that episode will probably debut Labor Day weekend.
Wow. That's going to be here before you know it.
It's going to be here in a couple of weeks. But it was a fascinating interview. I learned a lot about you, Ricky Bittman, and you're my mentor, and I learned a lot.
You are a great interviewer.
Like I said in the interview, I don't like taking compliments, but I'll take the compliment. I never even heard of T South Dakota before.
No, you learned a lot.
I did learn a lot, and it was fascinating. And I don't know who the next one is going to be. I get from the word upstairs. I don't pick them.
No, I'd like to be sitting. I'll sit over there nice and quiet on the couch. I won't make a peep.
Oh, okay.
We
have the list. It could be Jeff. It could be Quincy. It could be Bull. It could be Abby. It could be Aunt Petunia. It could be anybody in the Restani production or organization.
They'll all be fascinating.
But they're all going to be fascinating. I can't wait. And so that's going to be debuting Backstage Pass. We haven't advertised it yet on the social medias yet. But Backstage Pass, the first episode, sometime on or around Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day.
Jerry Lewis no longer has the telethon, so you can now listen to the Backstage Pass.
I remember I did a Labor Day podcast, and I opened it with a clip from the telethon.
Which clip was it?
It's him goes, "It's been a love day. It's been a day of love." And it was just Jerry. He was like all exhausted, and he starts singing his songs and all.
What was that song he sang at the end?
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark.
There's a rumor that they whacked him because he knew they found the cure and he was going to expose it.
Jesus, man.
I did not know that.
I just got whiplash from that one, for crying out loud. Jesus.
All right, Quincy, the hands on the clock are telling us to wrap it up, so do your deed.
Okay, well, thank you for watching this very important episode of yours truly, of all my good fans here. We hope to see you again soon, so drive home carefully. And remember, we never close.
Is that the right Tauntaun?
I think he said he wants to go to Kowloon.